Today I'll walk you through how to properly configure anti-gravity for the first time. We're building this simple, fully responsive landing page by using AI coding agents. It's basic, but it's the foundation. In future sessions, I'll show you exactly how to take this page to the next level. But first, we need to set up the engine, Antigravity. Once you've downloaded the software, you'll be greeted by this setup window. You can select the next setting here. I usually prefer dark mode. It's much easier on the eyes. Next up, this setting actually has several layers. If you're a beginner, I strongly suggest using review-driven development. Secure mode is the safest baseline. However, if you're a more skilled developer and you're familiar with agentic AI workflows, you can opt for agent-driven development. Does this mean beginners should never use this agent-driven development mode? Not really. It's just that with this setting, you're essentially handing over most of decision-making power to the coding agent. The AI coding agent will proceed to do the work before asking you to review. But at the start, when you're just learning the software, you want to be in the loop, reviewing every major decision before the coding agent making the changes. That way, it enables you to understand how the coding agent responds to your request. You need to understand the basics first. Let's stick to this review-driven development for now. It's super easy to change later. If you're a beginner, just use the defaults. The default configuration is excellent for beginners. Moving on, click Next again to accept these settings. Here is where you sign in with Google. In this case, you click Sign in with Google. For me, I'm already logged in, so I'll just proceed. Logged in, it automatically configures your account. Now, terms of use. I'll accept quickly. And that's the setup done. Now that we're set up, let's look at the interface. Since this is a blank new setup, there is no existing workspace for you to open. First, let's set up a workspace. Click Open Folder. Let's create a folder called Development. Then create another subfolder within Development folder. Let's call this subfolder Antigravity. All files for this workspace are listed here. Click Open. This pop-up dialog prompts you if you trust the folder. Since you create this folder, it's safe to click Trust the authors and then Yes, I trust the authors. In this interface, what's crucial? It's empty, no files yet. Since you're new to this IDE, it is best to focus on the Agent Manager and the Editor's chat box. What's the difference? It confuses everyone, including me, at the beginning. At first you ask, which one do I use? Actually, the distinction is clear. If you want low-level tasks like coding or debugging, use the Editor's chat box. But for complex programs, designing, or planning, start with the Agent Manager. The Agent Manager focuses on big-picture planning while have the ability to get the low-level work done. Another thing, Gemini 3 Flash is now available. I don't recommend it unless you're doing something very simple, such as basic UI changes. Gemini 3 Pro should be your first choice. Agent Manager handles the heavy lifting. It asks, what do you want to do? As for the drop-down, I won't choose. Fast. Planning is best in most scenarios, especially for a software plan. Now for today's demo, we'll build a simple website. Build me a website. You need to be clear. For my YouTube channel, use AI with TechDad. Okay, here's the tricky part. That sentence doesn't contain enough context. But will it work? Yes. Because you asked, it will try to solve your problem with whatever data it has. It won't ask too many questions unless you tell it to. Ask me questions. Is this best practice? Absolutely not. Usually, I provide the background and specify what I really want first, what I have. I'd discuss it with the agent, but for this 101 demo, I'll show you the basic approach. So you can see the effect right away. I'll tell it. Ask me any questions. See, it starts planning. The benefit of Antigravity's Agent Manager is that it acts at a high level. It seeks confirmation. As I said in my podcast, working with agentic AI is 2 steps. Provide clear instruction, then verification. Because I asked it to ask questions, it's gathering requirements. First, simple or multi-page. Second, should it auto-fetch latest videos from YouTube? Wow! Because I mentioned YouTube, it realized that having YouTube videos showing on the website might be useful. For design, it says, given YouTube channel name, I suggest a modern style. It asks about specific or tag colors. I say OK. It proposes simple HTML. This is the simplest form and can be hosted for free. I will also have a session to show you how to do it. Next/React is harder to configure, but honestly, in the AI era, it's all a lot easier than the old day. I answer, simple landing page only. In reality, you don't need to answer everything. Second, fetch latest videos? Not at this moment. Third, design. Your suggestion sounds good. Fourth, simple HTML, CSS, JS is good. It starts planning. It guesses the missing details. It comes up with an implementation plan. Look at this. But checking the plan is vital. It lists deliverables. It highlights a review session. We can do this. It tells you where it will create the website files, what it will build, and how it will verify it. This is what you want to verify by reading it and putting in a question as comment. What color will you propose? If you don't like something, ask specifically. For instance, I don't want watch now. Change it to subscribe to follow. It understands. It replaces watch now. If you're ready, click proceed. You see? It took my feedbacks and updated the plan. Every time you interact, you shape its output. Looking below, subscribe to follow. It changed it. Good. I click proceed. Now it figures out how to do it. It dispatches agents. For something this simple, it should take about 30 seconds to a minute to complete. It's working. Editing. Done. Why does it ask, I want to verify? Because of the settings we did earlier. It asks if we wanted. In the future, you can set it to always proceed. It opened a browser. Antigravity doesn't just code. It tests for you. It launches a browser to check its work. But some things are missing. No photos. It's too simple. Can we get photos? Yes. I'll teach you next. Earlier, I mentioned Antigravity designed a website but had no photos. What now? You might think you need to find stock photos. Nope. You can absolutely tell the AI to make them for you. So how do we do that? Just send it a message directly. Here, type I looked at the website. It has no photos. Can you put some photos on the web page? Many people don't know this, but Antigravity actually has a generate image function built in. What does it do? It allows you to generate visuals on the fly. You can place these directly on the site. Use them as placeholders until you have the real assets. Or use it to generate the images you need for your website. But for developers, the best use case is actually utilizing generate image for prototype, design, diagram, etc. For example, asking, generate a system flow direct diagram for me, or generate a sequence diagram. This gives you a design diagram, a technical point of view, instantly. Besides generate image, Antigravity has many other creative tools. Like search web, you can tell it to go online and do a web search. It finds data to improve your website, or helps solve problems that neither it nor you can solve without external info. All right here. So now it says, I've generated an image. The photos are in. Looking at this, I'd say, hey, wait a minute. Your photos look distorted. You'll see it will go and try to fix it. It attempts to resolve the issue. If not, I'll tell it explicitly. It says it's done. Let's check the result first. Nope, that's not right. The text on the image, it's cropped. Why does this happen? Antigravity usually generates square images, 1-to-1 ratio. So I tell it, I check the page, and the images are distorted. As simple as this. I'm going to fast forward this part because the magic is happening under the hood. We're letting the anti-gravity coding agent analyze the image distortion itself, brainstorm a fix, and implement the code using Nano Banana Pro. Once it finishes verifying the output, the agent confirms the implementation is complete and the layout is fixed. And that's the power of antigravity. It doesn't just build. It troubleshoot and polishes just like a junior dev, only much, much faster. If you found this useful, hit that like button. I'll see you in the next tutorial where we dive even deeper. Happy building!